Hello you overzealous players of Overwatch, your cries for a non-holiday themed player versus AI event has been heard, which actually does not surprise me. Blizzard has throughout its glorious history been known to be listening to its players and engaging with them. This is Cankicks and welcome to Uprising.
You got it!
Overwatch's first ever story-based PvE event campaign is here, and it ties directly to the lore of Overwatch. Uprising Brawl, called Insurrection, is a cooperative game mode where you play as either Tracer, Reinhardt, Mercy, or everyone's favorite daddy drop Torbjorn as they fight waves of Omnic extremists known as the Null Sector through the streets of gorgeously reskinned daylit Kings Row. And judging by the long server queue times, it has been successful. Very successful. This makes me even more excited about how Blizzard might choose to approach this story and lore of Overwatch. But first, let's talk about Uprising event. The event offers additional background on the Omnic uprising at Kings Row, and it is Tracer's first mission with Overwatch's team.
It's my first mission, and the only way to save my home.
The whole cooperative brawl Insurrection is littered with fully voiced dialogues and interactions as they follow the vocal instructions from Soldier 76, Ana, and Reaper, making it feel like a mini story campaign for which you can even turn on the subtitles.
Good job, team. Handing you over to Commander Reyes. Amari out.
It by no means feels like an half-assed job. Speaking of which, Kings Row has never looked this amazing. It feels like there's ample amount of reskin detail gone into Kings Row, and additions of new assets like anti-airship guns, etc. definitely provides legitimacy to the whole scenario. Unlike Junkerstein's Revenge, which was more inclined towards being a horde mode, the action here does not take place in one static location. Insurrection is split into multiple neat little stages, from hacking a series of terminal to securing and repairing a payload to ultimately escorting it, all while waves of Omnic robots attack you. With 24 characters, you really can go creative with the team composition, or even if you play it with the strike team as intended, you will still find fun regardless of who you get to play. Be it zipping around and picking up targets with Tracer, or hammering down with Reinhardt, fortifying payload with Torbjorn, or be it simply healing or damage boosting with Mercy. You would constantly be on your feet and would certainly feel that you are doing something or the other. I had a blast playing either of these heroes. Overall, I feel Insurrection takes Overwatch to another refreshing level. I would highly recommend to play it on hard to get the best experience. You can definitely play it on normal if you are in for just the story experience, but I found hard to be exciting and challenging. While expert can be difficult if you're not in a coordinated team, and legendary is borderline impossible. You can only do it with a team that you trust and who is mechanically very strong. Even then, I would recommend that you swap Tracer with Bastion to shred those shielded robots, Bastions and OR-14s, or even throw in Soldier 76 in the mix for that sustained burst damage. You might even try replacing Reinhardt with Orisa or even Diva to add that extra gunpower while being shielded. Mercy, on the other hand, I think should always be an insta-lock as a damage boost, and Resurrect will make your life much easier at that insane difficulty. Insurrection is by no means perfect. There could be things that could be fleshed out from story to gameplay. The gameplay could have had more variety and story elements could have been more fleshed out, and there could probably be time-based challenges also added in the mix. But for a free content update, what we get feels super generous considering the state of AAA gaming industry right now. In any case, it is given that you will be dying a lot at Legendary before you finally nail it. And at that difficulty, it is less to do with skill, it's more to do with persisting and wearing down the enemy. And I'm probably getting too damn old for that stuff now. Anyhow, coming back to something I really wanted to talk about. This event gives me hope and opens up new possibilities. Blizzard has always been extremely good at storytelling. They have on multiple occasions stated that they are storytellers, and story is at the heart of their games. All their games have been, though gameplay centric, always managed to tell great stories. No one can deny the fact that lore of Diablo, Warcraft, Starcraft spans over multiple chapters, events and eras, and over the decades they have only gotten bigger, deeper and more captivating. And like all Blizzard games, Overwatch, though being a 6v6 multiplayer shooter, has always had a story to tell. A story of hope, a better tomorrow, a story about heroism, friendship, and betrayal. I've always wondered how Blizzard could add a story-based campaign in a multiplayer shooter like Overwatch, and I'm sure Blizzard has also dabbled over the idea of telling a heartwarming story without abandoning the core concept of the game, or worse, risking alienating their audience. For that reason, they have been trying out with these standalone shorts and comics that directly tie into the game. This event is another small step to test towards what they can achieve from story perspective, and considering the overwhelming response, the sign has been very positive. From very long queues to players having latency and disconnection issues, which are all symptoms of heavy traffic that Overwatch servers experienced as fans converged on the game to check out this new story event. Some frustrated players even being vocal about it and tweeting absurd requests to Blizzard, like deleting their old games to add more server rooms, or not to be like Ubisoft and just add more servers. I would say, considering this kind of response, that there's a good chance of more story-based PvE content in future. Though I doubt there is enough room to add full-blown story campaign without straying too far from Overwatch's core concept, or being able to do justice to backstories and interdynamics of all the 24 diverse heroes, with more also on the way. You really don't want some of your favorite heroes to be left out or shortchanged now, do you? Moreover, Overwatch's lore is ever evolving, and with the expanding story that has more blanks in them, which actually works in Overwatch's favor, it will lose its fluidity and flexibility if everything gets set in stone. But this event is a big step forward. This is a great way to add story bits to a game. So rather than making us passively go through lore, this is a fantastic way for Blizzard to make us live through and experience some of the key events and pivotal points in the history of Overwatch from the eyes of the concerned heroes. Blizzard can surely add something like chapters or event section and add Uprising to it as a chapter, and then they can keep adding more chapters like this rather than having to deal with a full story-based campaign. And considering that Blizzard has been exceptional when it comes to supporting their games even decades after launch, something extremely few companies do, I would say that we would be seeing more and even better story-based content in the future, adding more exciting layers to the world of Overwatch. I'm super stoked for it. This is Cancakes kicking off.